Yo, I brought Generaider to a little tiny Genesis tournament, ended up getting first place, and I'm not gonna lie, it was maybe the worst locals I've ever been to. So I have a couple things to say about the format. I just want to talk about what the other players were playing there. It was only like 4 people. It was very, very small. But yeah, I thought I'd put out a video just showing the deck that I was playing and talk about the format as a whole. So, starting things off with 3 copies of Lopter. I tried playing 3 copies of Martel just because this is the best level 9 to open in your hand if you have to open one. But I am on 42 cards, and this is the 42nd card while Trius is the 41st card, and you really could just cut these and your deck will just brick less. Like, I've played maybe 20 games of this deck, like on DB and in that locals, and Trius just doesn't come up. And Trius is very awkward. You can't send it off Diviner anymore, so you're like almost never gonna see it. You're only gonna see it by hard opening a 1 of in 42 cards, or you're gonna see it off of World Legacy Monstrosity, but usually there's better things to summon because you go like Vala, whatever, and then you summon off Martel and QQ is usually the 2 you summon to get like as much extension as possible and hand rip as much as possible. So yeah, this card just unfortunately, sadly, is probably something you cut, and I would change those 2 cards in the future and just not play them. 3 copies of Vala, 2 Har because DD Crow is free in this format and it's kind of just in every deck. Then the 1 Nidhogg, 1 Utgarda, 1 Gila. That is it for the generators. Then 3 copies of QQ, 3 Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju, because he's level 9. There's decks like Purely, Super Quant, and Lunalight that run around a lot in this format. 3 copies of Boss Stage, 3 copies of World Legacy Monstrosity, 3 copies of Kujikiri Curse, trade in for level 9s, except it can also send from field, and sadly it is a hard once per turn. Card would be so fucking broken if it wasn't hard once per turn. For the non-engine, these cards are maybe a little problematic in the format, so this could be a window to talk about what I don't like about Genesis, which is that these are each 5 points. 5 per nib, 5 per droll. Konami's a little worried about FTKs, I think, as you can tell by the last changes they made on the point list, which was just like, fuck all the FTKs in the world, we're gonna lower nib by 5. I don't think I agree with this strategy. Maybe they've already figured this out, I don't know. I'd like to think that there's still hope somewhere in the game that the entire game doesn't have to be plagued by this card's fucking existence. But yeah, the very first game of Genesis that I played against White Forest, I drolled him, and then game 2, after he instantly lost, I drolled him, and he said that was fucking miserable. So yeah, pretty not cool. And I don't really think it matters that, like, Radiant Typhoon can do a bunch of shit in draw phase and they don't care about droll. Like, yeah, there are decks, like, this is a deck that doesn't give a fuck about droll, but then for every generator that exists, there is a fucking art mage, where it's like, oh, the only card I lose to is droll. So, I mean, that's not necessarily true, but droll fucking destroys that deck. The point being is, a lot of people have voiced their opinions on cards like droll and shifter, and then Konami goes ahead and says, I don't care. Fuck you. Also, alright, we're gonna go on let me rant here for a minute. I'm just gonna put the deck down. Yesterday's gameplay, today's cards. That's the tagline for Genesis. Round 1 of this locals, someone summoned a 4 material rhongo'd, who is 31 points for some reason. His opponent got up and fucking left the building. I hand-ripped 4 cards and forced my opponent to draw and then drolled them. The other decks of this locals were Draco Tail, the deck with the most tops in the current advanced format, and Runic Stun, because no runic spells are costed and Inspector Border is fucking 20 points. Genuinely, what are we doing? You make a blog post saying, oh, well, Signet Mining discards, so that's why it and 7th Tachyon aren't costed. But Chaos Space is 40. Ketu Draco Tail is Rhoda and Poly, and Giga Searchable 10 points. And I was like, it's not even an archetypal thing because Cornfield Codal is 33. This is why Konami doesn't fucking communicate with their player base, I guess, because they make themselves look like clowns the minute they speak. Well, you see, fellas, we just don't have enough people playing Shifter in the format yet. Gladiator Proving Ground, though? I don't know if we can let that one slide. Don't get me wrong, I'm the target audience for this format. I'm the whiny bitch that's been kicking and screaming about non-engine and the advanced format just getting more and more out of control, where you see Ryzia lists running fucking 25 hand traps and 15 different turn skip floodgates to shit out for whatever situation arises. I guess I can't go for Protoss this turn, so I'll have to settle for Featherstorm and Castell. Yeah, the modern game is fucking trash. I've said we need something similar to a Duel Links ban list. Like if you play a certain card, like Droll, maybe you can't pair it with Nib. But here we are, chump change costs on both. And a non-once per turn hand rip that's extremely easy to get out is 13 points. GENESYS can be a whole lot worse, but it can also be a whole lot better. Anyway, to show the remainder of the non-engine, 3 Ultimate Slayer and 3 Cosmic Cyclone. For the extra deck, this is the majority of the points in the deck, 13 each. It's worth it. I think this was better than VFD when you could play VFD in this deck. Just to show the other stuff that costs points first, I'm playing 10 points for a Typhon, 10 points for a Werewolf, just because he's fun, I guess. I don't know. Is he fun? I did hand rip with him too. Like, this deck's fucking disgusting. This deck is rancid. I can't even pretend. Each of these are 1 point, and then playing the 2 Jormungandr to go with them. I put this in the extra deck last minute. I don't really know what I was going for. If you summon so much that you're able to put this on the board, you're probably QQ locked, so you can't summon this. I guess in some weird situation, maybe if you were playing like enemy controller, this card's broken, because it just you can convert whatever is on your board into a level 9 monster. That's the point of this card. But this should probably be like the Fossil Warrior Skull Knight or whatever. My Ultimate Slayer targets are Aggregator, Malong, Garura, and Valen. But something cool about this deck is that Aggregator is a rank 9, so you can just summon it, and he has like a good effect. You can send these 3 to the grave and trigger their effects, and then he has an effect to reattach them. So I'm playing Eradicator in the side, so a play that I made, I think at least twice. I went Aggregator, send Garura, draw a card, reattach the Garura, pass, and then you Eradicator, tribute this, look at their hand, pop all the spells or traps, and then you get another draw off of the Garura, or you can negate a card too. It's fucking bullshit. And then the last card in the extra deck is the new copy of the F-Zero, who you can almost never actually summon because, again, if you put enough shit on the board, you probably used QQ. But I have summoned him once or twice, and he kind of makes you unkillable. For the side deck, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Twin Twister. This is probably a bit overkill. You can probably play like anything else here. Magic Deflector, maybe. Fucking Mistaken Arrest is 0 points for some reason. There's a bunch of stupid shit. DD Crow, not really here for anything in particular. He just can be good every now and then. I think he's good against Generaider, actually. These are 3 cards to side in going first to take out the Ultimate Slayers. I think it's fine to leave the Kaiju in, because he's level 9. You can just send him off Kujikiri Curse, but the Ultimate Slayer going first you want to take out. And these cards are fine. This can help you beat Cosmic, and then this is just like added consistency, because there are so many Generaider names. And then the last card is the 0 cost Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You should probably play this in this format while Radiant Typhoon is running around. Probably going to be good. And yeah, that is the deck. I don't want to bitch too much about them trying something new, but they were willing to hit the branded cards, which were brand new and going to be very good and probably played in everything. So they're showing that they have changed a little bit, but Shifter is still 10 points. And I have Exosister, and to be honest, that deck is so shit that I don't think Shifter is good enough to carry it into playability, but it's kind of besides the point. Like, you could just get absolutely fucking sacked by Exosister, and, like, you don't want to leave that kind of card legal, do you? Do you really want Inspector Border at 20 points? Do you really want to play against, like, full power Runic Stun with Die-Fi at 0? Is that the kind of game we're trying to make here?